Ủa 9 giờ thi y thi 11 12 giờ mới xong bố. 12 giờ mới xong hả?
Được rồi. Muốn trên camera không?
Thôi.
Bỏ camera nhé.
Đang lên YouTube bố.
Mình cho nó private thôi, chỉ mình xem thôi. Đâu phải xem có nhà anh nào ghi rồi.
Tắt màn hình chứ bố.
Đây tấm hình này zoom rồi. Yeah, yêu ta.
Biết. Đây bố.
Share tấm hình đi. Rồi, con thi chỗ nào ta? Rồi thi đi. Rồi.
Mốt test. Nó giống cái mốt test của con nhân lớp hơn. Nhân lớp có 5.5.
IELTS listening test.
Okay.
Zim's School of English and Test Preparation. This recording is copyright. Test 4. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answer to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. You will hear someone calling a festival box office to inquire about the tickets and activities available. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6.
Thôi điểm đầu bố.
Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good morning, Bexley Festival Box Office. How can I help you?
Oh, hello. My family and I are on holiday in the area, and we've seen some posters about the festival this week. Could you tell me about some of the events, please?
Of course.
First of all, are there still tickets available for the MTP concert on Saturday evening?
There are, but only £15. The £12 seats have all been sold.
OK, and the venue is the school, isn't it?
Yes, that's right, the primary school. Make sure you don't go to the secondary school by mistake. Also, there's one thing you need to know. Apart from all of the celebrities that appear on the poster, we successfully invited another rising star, Hanny Tracy. Have you ever heard of her?
Oh, really? I think I've heard her on the radio. What is her role in the concert?
She's a pianist. This is her first performance in public after a recent scandal.
Well, I'd certainly like to hear her. Then the next thing I want to ask about is the poppy races. I saw a poster beside a river. What are they exactly?
Well, You bring your own puppy, as you may like, then register £1 for each. Remember to wear your name tag on the necklaces. There'll be several races, depending on the number of dogs taking part. And John Stevens, a city chairman, is going to start the races. All the puppies will be launched into the track at the back of the cinema. Then they'll float along the river for 5 metres.
And are there any prizes?
Yes, the first dog in each race to arrive at the finishing line wins its owner a discount ticket for the MTP concert on the last night of the festival.
OK, I'll go there to register this afternoon. I remember walking past there yesterday. Now could you tell me something about the flower show, please?
Well, admission is free, and the show is being held in Common Hall.
Is it easy to find? I'm not very familiar with the town yet.
Oh, you won't have any problem. It's right in the city centre. It's the only old building in town, so it's easy to recognise.
I know it. I presume it's open all day.
That's right, but you'll need to be there at 5 o'clock if you want to see the prizes being awarded. This year, we have Amanda Gay, a famous actress, as the award presenter. She lives nearby and gets involved in a lot of community events.
Gosh, I've seen her on TV. I'll definitely go to the prize giving.
Right.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10.
Okay.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 7 to 10.
I've seen a list of plays that are being performed this week, and I'd like to know which are suitable for my children and which ones my husband and I might go to.
How old are your children?
5 and 7. I see a play called The Mystery of Woodland. How about it?
That's aimed at 5 to 10-year-olds.
So if I take my children, I can expect them to enjoy it more than I do?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. If you're looking for something to enjoy quality time with your husband, I'll suggest Over the Bridge. It's about events that really happened in this city 200 years ago, and children might find it rather frightening.
Oh, thanks for the warning. Is there anything we could watch together? I mean the whole family, because a babysitter can't be with us all night.
Luckily, the Soul Show at 8 p.m. will be good for your family. And I believe your children will love those adorable characters, while you and your husband can enjoy the hidden message about life in the show.
And finally, what about Courageous Sailor?
That's a comedy, and it's for young and old. In fact, it won the Wee Choice Awards a couple of months ago.
OK, well goodbye and thanks for all the information. I'm looking forward to the festival.
Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to part 2. Part 2. You will hear a woman talking about the changes taking place in the organization and service delivery of a company. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello everyone. The meeting will start in a few moments. Please settle down and take your seats. I know you're all very excited, but please try to remain calm. OK, now that everyone's all set, I'd like to announce some major changes to the organization of our company. The first, and this is a big one, our company will officially become a cooperative beginning next month, which is the 1st of May, and not June as previously planned. This is based on the advice of a cooperative alliance, which has been very helpful to us. This alliance has, as you know, also advised us to establish distinct committees for every section of our store, which would make managing the stores much easier. After a lot of meetings with all of you for the last month, we have agreed to turn this advice into an official policy in our stores. With everything approved, all we need now is to vote for our preferred committee representatives for each store department to finalize this process. Shortly after we end this meeting, I'll provide further details just before you begin voting, but you can take a look at our handouts for more details if you're curious. After the voting process is finished and the representatives chosen, we will begin our discussions on a number of changes to the store that was proposed before this meeting. The one that attracted the most attention was the nomination of many new members to our management board, most notably Eboshi and McCann, who are prime candidates for the positions of managers for the athletics department and the martial arts section, respectively. If they are voted in, these representatives will work with all of us to ensure that the working environment is as diverse and safe as we can possibly make it. Additionally, newly elected managers will have to work together, and with every employee to implement some drastic changes to our store's accessibility options, which may help some customers who have disabilities. The most widely recognized are the addition of Braille writings in all of our signs to help those who are blind, in addition to the construction of ramps where needed to serve wheelchair users. If you have any other suggestions, feel free to send it to your manager, who will forward it to the management board. If the plan is considered feasible, it will be voted on by everyone in the company.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen carefully and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now, let's move on to some other changes in our services that some departments have suggested in our previous meeting sessions a few days ago. As you all know, the weather has recently turned very cold and is forecasted to remain so for the next month. So there has been a significant spike in the number of customers looking to buy heavy-duty winter clothing, which is typically offered by the skiing section in our store. But we've received some complaints from customers about how this section is so hard to find. Because of that, the skiing department voted to have all of their shelves moved to a more noticeable location in the store, which is just left of the entrance. There was some opposition from the cardio department, who thought that it would lead to some of their shelves being replaced. But speaking as a representative for the cardio department myself, I can assure everyone that we have more than enough space for the new skiing shelves, and all we need to do is just move them to the large empty space that's right next to our section. The cold has also led to another big change in our store, namely the addition of the home training department. The new department will offer clothing and gear that will allow other customers to exercise right in the comfort of their home. This is usually not our speciality, but as people avoid the cold outside to train right at home, the demand for indoor equipment skyrocketed. So we decided that we can't pass up on the opportunity. And that's not the only addition to our store. Another one that might attract a lot of attention is the new simulated surfaces in the trekking department. These will be situated right in the middle of the trekking department and contain mock-ups that are similar to rough terrain and rock formations in real life. This means that customers can try on a pair of shoes, then step on the rocks and gravel provided in these surfaces to test how well the shoes hold up. These will be added to our store in the next few days and will probably draw a lot of new customers to our store. So everyone should be ready for a slight surge in customers. Now, on to another very significant change. The cycling department in our store is going to be isolated for a complete overhaul. Quite a few customers requested that we dedicate a larger portion of the store for them to cycle around and test their bikes. And that means we have to change everything from the positioning of the bikes to even the orientation of the shelves to meet this demand. So if any one of us hear customers asking for the location of the bicycle section, please be sure to inform them that it is temporarily unavailable. The final thing to discuss in our meeting today is the problem of the nets connected to the hoops in the basketball department, which are degrading quite quickly. Our customers and some of our own employees suggested that the nets be upgraded to a new brand that lasts longer. However, the basketball department have all agreed that the current nets have to remain because the most durable brands are too stiff to provide a good throwing experience for customers. Because of that, the basketball department has agreed to only repair the nets and not swap them out for another brand. Of course, this fact should also be reminded to customers to assure them that we all have their best experience in mind. Okay, so with that done,
That is the end of part 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to part 3. Part 3. You will hear 2 students discussing the details in the upcoming presentation. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hey Vanya, is everything okay? You look worried.
Yes, actually, I'm still in 2 minds whether or not to choose signs and symbols as our main topic for the presentation.
Oh, why not? I mean, I thought we agreed to go with this topic, and yesterday you just shared with me some of your amazing ideas for the presentation. I gotta say, I was impressed.
You're right. I shouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, instead, we should now go through some of the details of our presentation. Oh, forgot to ask, how did you come up with the topic? Any particular reason?
Well, last week when I was hanging out with my sister in the bookstore, I came across a documentary that was streamed there. It showed some kinds of ancient structures and their meanings, and this was to promote a newly published book by some best-selling author. I was immediately hooked by how meaningful those mysterious symbols from the past could be, and right at that moment, I knew that signs and symbols would be the topic for our presentation.
Oh, I see. I thought you chose to talk about this topic since Mr. David mentioned it in our previous lesson about the Mayan civilization.
Did he? I have no clue. Guess I might have been daydreaming at that time.
Anyway, since we've agreed on the topic, the next thing we should do is to collect some information, and I think it would be a great idea to attend Mr. David's class this Friday. I heard that he would be giving a lecture on ancient signs and symbols.
Sorry to turn you off, but I thought this class was only for juniors, and as far as I know, the school does not allow us sophomores to attend those kinds of classes.
Oh, really? How do you know?
It's one of the regulations written on the school's website. Jake, and you should check it frequently. Not just for the regulations, but for all the information about new courses and events.
All right. So I guess we should pay a visit to the library to do some research, right?
Yes, we definitely should. Mr. David also advised us to ask the librarian to show us to the right shelf for those reference books.
Okay, let's meet at the library on Friday. Oh, I have something that might help. Yesterday, after you told me about the idea for our presentation, I searched the internet for some materials, and there was a book called Signs and Symbols, and it got excellent reviews on Goodreads. This book was written by a famous historian whose name just escaped my mind, but I thought it would be a great source of reference for our presentation.
Ah, I think I've heard about this book before. But how did you know this book will help? I mean, there are tons of bestsellers written by some experts with good reviews.
Actually, I found a PDF version of this book and already downloaded it. You may not believe it, but I spent all night proofreading it and found out that it was extremely insightful. I mean, all the information is thorough and well arranged. No wonder why it got so many high ratings on Goodreads.
Wow, I'm so glad to hear you already did something for our presentation. Can you send me that PDF version to my email? You're always good at finding those PDF files, which is the thing I really suck at.
Things seem easy, but to tell you the truth, last night I did struggle to find the valid PDF version of this book.
Oh, why was that?
I was confused because there were like thousands of links to the PDF file, but when I clicked on some of them, it was a trick, as they only showed the first few pages of the book. I tried many times and finally got access to a university's website and downloaded the complete file. Things could have been easier if I could have borrowed the hard version of that book from our library.
And why didn't you do so?
Actually, I did contact the library, but they told me the only book they have has not been returned yet. A senior student borrowed it last semester, and since then, there have been no trace of it, sadly.
Oh, I see.
Okay, now that we've decided on the topic, let's talk about how we start our presentation. I think we should go straight to the point and introduce the topic right from the start.
Well, I don't think it's a good idea. It may make our presentation less interesting to our classmates. I mean, we are the first group to present, so we shall have some warm-up activities. That's why it might be better if we show some pictures of familiar signs and symbols, like the sun, circle, and the like, and let them tell us about their meanings and then guess our topic.
But Vanya, Mr. David only allowed us to present in 30 minutes, and if we have any of those kinds of activities, we won't have time for the main part of our presentation.
Oh, Jake, you haven't checked the email, have you? This morning, Mr. David sent us an email saying that we'll have an extra 10 minutes for each presentation.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay, I guess we'll follow your plan.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 26 to 30.
Okay, now shall we move on to what we're going to present? Honestly, I still don't know what to talk about because there are so many signs and symbols out there.
I think we should go with something surprising. I mean, we're going to choose some familiar signs and symbols and introduce their hidden meanings. The meanings that people have no idea about.
Good idea. So can you think of any particular ones?
Well, yes. I've been thinking about it a lot and decided that our presentation would centre on some signs and symbols that are linked to the human body.
Wow, I thought you were going to choose something related to nature. We know how passionate you are as a nature lover.
Is that obvious? Anyway, the first body part I think we'll talk about is the heart, the symbol of the spiritual and emotional core of a human being.
The heart is widely associated with love, right? And I've read that word heart is used poetically to refer to the soul.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. But what we'll present is its meaning for the Aztecs. I mean, for them, the heart was the center of life force and religion. As far as I know, thousands of human hearts often still beating, were offered up to the sun god to ensure the renewal of crops.
How amazing. Let's talk about that.
I know, right? Well, the next thing I think we should include in our presentation is the meaning of the bones. You know, many people link the image of the bones to immortality.
But from what I learned from a documentary was that, as a framework of the human body, bones represent strength, stability, and determination. Are they?
Yes, exactly. And that's what we're going to mention in our presentation.
Okay then. Oh, don't you think we should talk about the limbs?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. They're seen as the most active parts of the body, and you'll be surprised by the information I got from an article. When it comes to legs, people often consider them a sign of balance and onward moving. But what we're going to talk about is that they also symbolize good luck, fertility, and regeneration in many cultures.
Oh, what about the arm?
Well, the arm shows strength, power, and protection, and is an instrument of justice. But did you know that arms are lifted as a sign of surrender and are raised up to God in prayer or supplication?
Actually, I've heard about that, and I think it would be a great idea to only include the justice aspect, because the other meanings are too familiar to people.
Right. Any idea for the next body part?
I suddenly remember about a reality show I watched with my sister the other night, and they did mention something about the spleen. I know it sounds weird, but actually, the spleen is regarded as the seat of humour, laughter, and melancholy. In the East, it means only cheerfulness, and in China is one of the 8 treasures linked to the yin energy.
Interesting. We should definitely add it to the presentation. And do you think
That is the end of part 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to part 4. Part 4. You will hear a talk about giant pandas. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today, we continue our series on ecology and conservation. If one animal lives up to the saying that you are what you eat, it's probably the giant panda. Nearly every aspect of a panda's life revolves around bamboo. Giant pandas eat and eat and eat. Pandas can spend more than half of each day eating. To understand why pandas eat so much, you need to look more closely at what they eat. Bamboo, a giant woody grass, is a very poor nutritional source. Bamboo comprises 99% of pandas' diet. To compensate, pandas need to eat 20 to 40 pounds a day. Pandas have quite a bit in common with carnivores. A panda's digestive system is more closely related to that of a carnivore than a herbivore, which explains why they don't digest plants very well. Fortunately, they have other adaptations that help them chow down on bamboo stops, including large, powerful jaws. When they're not eating, pandas rest and rest. Since they don't digest bamboo very well, pandas end up passing out a lot of it in waste, which unsurprisingly contains a lot of undigested bamboo bits. Pandas defecate more than 100 times a day, producing more than 40 pounds of waste. Pandas even go number 2 while they're napping as a way to compensate for their low-energy diet. Pandas' black and white fur may help them camouflage. Once again, we can look at a panda's diet to help understand why its fur is the colour it is. Pandas don't store enough fat to hibernate like other bears, so they have to keep eating bamboo all year round. And since they're always roaming in search of bamboo, pandas are unable to shed their fur quickly, enough to match their background like other animals can. So their black and white pattern may be a sort of compromise. White fur allows them to blend into snowy backgrounds. Black fur allows them to blend into shady forest backgrounds. Panda cubs are the tiniest in comparison to their mother. Baby giant pandas are born blind, helpless, and tiny, and weigh just 5 ounces, or about 1,000th of the size of their mother. Why so small? A panda mother has a relatively low oxygen level, so the cub can get more oxygen outside the womb. Historically, pandas inhabited a much wider range than they do today and faced multiple predators. So at the time, they may have relied more on their camouflage ability. Today, pandas are not at high risk from predators, but rather from a loss of bamboo. However, pandas still face significant threats tied closely to their food source. Human development has driven pandas into isolated, fragmented mountains, restricting their access to bamboo. Additionally, climate change threatens to eliminate more than 1/3 of the bamboo habitat that pandas rely on by the end of the century. The good news is that the giant panda conservation status was recently upgraded from endangered to vulnerable. An estimated 1,850 pandas remain in the wild in China, an increase of 17% over the past decade.
That is the end of part 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test.
Cái thứ 4. Nó được chạy qua bạn reading 4.
Phút 40 giây nữa sẽ nhảy qua reading. Hoặc còn nước nhảy qua luôn thì ấn finish.
Nó đừng còn nhẹ ngay đâu.
Trong đó kiểm tra lại đi.
Không.
Từ
Biết. Nghe không hiểu.
nào.
Ngồi nhẹ qua đi. Reading. Gamification là game đúng không?
Communication á. Giao
Dạ,
tiếp.
dạ.
À, communication thôi, chứ game. Họ biết cái gì là game. Ừ.
Chuyên cô nói tiếng Bình.
Sau 15 phút thì nhảy sang bài 2. Sau 20 phút thì nhảy sang bài 3. Đưa xong nhảy ra.
Demonstrate là cái gì bố?
Ừ.
Demonstrate.
Trình bày. Diễn. Sẽ leo không?
Thì thôi.
Sẽ leo. Làm nha.
Ừ.
Thì ăn sau nha.
Dạ.
Dạ.
Dạ. Chặt.
Ăn là mình biết thôi nhá.
Ừ. Khủng hoảng. Ờ. Mê. Alo. Dạ. Dạ rồi. Dạ.
Xong rồi viết chưa?
Chưa xong bài đọc nữa.
Xong rồi đọc chưa?
Chưa.
Tiếp điện giải nữa.
Dạ thôi.
Từ giải.
Thôi.
Đúng không?
Thôi.
Cái này là giống như là tập thể dục xong người ta đúng á.
Trời, chị cứ nói về toán học.
À,
Nó nói về toán học.
thì cái đọc thôi, cái đọc từng từ giống như bán cái phương pháp của ông tìm
Trời ơi.
để làm đó. Bây giờ thì đoán lại không sao.
Ngắn đại cúp không hiểu gì chân.
Đó. Ra tao đi nó tờ đỏ kìa.
Ừ. Đáng đại chứ sao vẫn không hiểu đâu.
Thì ra cái bước đầu tiên phải làm đủ từ cô đạo cái gì.
Ơi. Ờ, Vì this we.
Thì từ mà làm thì biết từ từ là cái gì.
Năm dùng phong tu được không bố?
Ừ.
Năm dùng phong tu được không?
Cover from đúng rồi, from từ từ.
Ủa nó cao quá cho mình luôn. Trời ơi.
Dàn bài trước. Vậy là dàn bài trước biết là nghĩ của cái gì.
1990, 2000, 2000. Đồ biểu đồ cột dùng account phone đúng không bố?
Ừ. Đó.
Cái biểu đồ này dùng account mà, account phone à?
Put that.
Đúng rồi.
Put that 40% or 50%. China is accounted for the
Nó chiếm nhiều nhất. Cứ áp biết.
highest is highest among countries in terms of
Ngoại trừ thì nó là gì bố?
except
Ủa khi nào dùng territory?
territory
Yeah.
territory là đất á, lãnh thổ á.
Dân. Tôi nói có thể dùng cái từ đó thay thế cho country như vậy.
In the other territory
Except for bố. Except
except
for
for England.
production đồng nghĩa với manufacture bố.
Production ở
Ủa biết về hiện tại đơn á. Ủa năm là quá khứ đơn rồi bố.
thì rồi
Có năm là quá khứ đơn hả?
cái này có cái đấy nói quá khứ.
Ủa ông vừa rồi cũng còn biết quá khứ đơn bố.
Không rồi thì nó là cái nước này nói xu hướng thôi, nhìn chung thì là Mỹ là cao nhất đúng không, thì không biết nữa, chỉ mỗi câu đầu rồi khoảng bạn để graph represent gì nào là được được
Except for có nghĩa là excepted for à?
hoặc là gì
Cái except for á.
xếp for thôi.
Không có excepted à?
Để tự
Exist đi. Ủa có từ nào thay thế từ chiếm bố?
đây là gì Từ gì?
Chiếm á,
Chiếm á, occupy.
Occupy. Occupy
20% gì đó.
million of barrel per day.
Ừ.
Ủa cái từ nào thay thế là chiếm?
I accounted for stood at, hoặc con dùng câu nối kiểu là achieve gì đó for moving down gì đó.
Ủy được rồi, tôi có moving down nữa.
Moving down thì nói ở cái form.
Occupy
Không biết từ nào thì cứ dùng hẳn vậy. Thế còn rồi thì còn chỉ sao?
hai cái này là một một 0,5 nè.
Chỉ có cái biết làm bài.
Occupy 0,5 million. Có 0,5 million nè.
Phải để ý, con để ý thời gian đúng 20 là còn nhẹ là một tiền.
Trời ơi.
Rất quan trọng.
Million sub oil á.
Ừ.
Ốc thì total oil rồi.
Million barrels đúng không? Cái gì của nó là gì?
Ốc barrel cái gì?
Đấy, cái đường đúng cái đơn vị không nghe rồi. Thế này dùng đúng cái đơn vị.
Nó được dùng quy đại từ IU gì không bố?
Hả?
Nó được dùng IU quy đây gì không?
Rồi.
Có được dùng gì IU quy đây gì?
Em dùng passive voice hết, hoặc là active voice dùng country thôi, đừng có dây viết rồi.
Ờ, hết câu nói rồi. Subsequently. 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 Ủa vẫn giữ vị thế của mình là nói gì bố?
Hả?
Ý là vẫn giữ vị thế của mình như năm trước á.
Stable.
Remain stable.
Remain stable. Remain unchanged.
Remain unchanged. Cao hơn một chút thì nó sao bố? Cao hơn một chút.
Slightly above.
Đa nữa bố. Cao hơn một chút. Đang 1990 à?
Compared to.
Nhìn giống nhau rồi. Nói sao bố?
At the same level as the high as verse 8. Em đang xem bài 2 chưa bây giờ? À. Ủa sang bài 2 đi. Ủa sang bài 2 đi, sang bài 2. Làm dàn bài trước. Intro
Về
cái
bài
gì?
intro TP vậy. Invasion là đồng nghĩa nó gì nhỉ? Không biết
Some
luôn.
people think it's motivation.
Review
Agree disagree đúng rồi. Con đồng ý là cái sáng tạo mà đánh tốt nhất của là người là internet không?
Yeah.
Thì let's say
Rồi
internet.
TP vậy.
Không, chỉ cần nói internet không? Intro thì cái gì internet nữa rồi bộ.
Dàn vàng bài à?
Tắt cái tiếng Việt đi.
Đồng ý thì ghi là
Internet.
agree internet. Rồi cái dưới gì?
Giờ cái paragraph 1 còn về P1
P quên.
thì nói là về cái ý mà không có internet trước. Other invention.
Gì đó?
Other invention.
Order à?
Sao này khác?
Đây, order reason.
À, other invention xuống dòng gạch 2 từ đời bộ. Nhất là cái gì?
Biết
Phát minh về điện,
energy à?
electricity. Phát minh về gì nữa?
Biết cơ sở tầng à?
Điện này hoặc là
Lấy cái tòa nhà. Lấy điện
ô tô chẳng hạn,
kho.
automobile.
Ủa gì đại đồng đấy?
Số dòng đây, số dòng P2
Để tu
nói về cái gì?
nó về điện. Nó biết cái gì?
Internet. Internet thì hai cái ý chính để cho tác động được ngày gần nhất. Sao internet phát minh quan trọng nhất?
Mình không có nói thì mình không biết xài cái kia. Nếu không có nó thì sao search Google được.
Thì kết nối mọi người, connect people, mọi
Connect.
người world,
Connect people.
mọi người world. Anh bài thôi mà. Rồi, chúng ta gần hai là gì? Tại nhà một tuần nữa.
Không được, không mất thời gian.
Save time.
Để ra
Conclusion là gì?
ai ở ghi
Conclusion có nghĩa là
ai ở ghi
ở trên đây. Có nghĩa là gì?
đồng nghĩa với intention là gì bố?
Hay là nghĩ đồng nghĩa là bằng cái đã. Rồi
Some people.
There's a why there's a hoặc là internet has become popular in recent years. Internet has become very popular in recent years.
Has rồi.
Hoặc là in recent decades ago.
Internet has become
Popular. Recent decades. Yeah.
for several
In recent decades.
in the recent decades.
Some people believe that other inventions are important.
Gì? There are more.
Some people believe that other inventions such as electricity and car are more important.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Many argue that internet most innovation. Tất cả các người khoa học most important invention. Ví dụ thầy Paraparis và lên
Gì là there are some people
Why some people believe that? Một chấm như tiếng Việt ạ. Such as electricity in car. Why some people believe that internet is the most important invention at all times?
believe that internet
Most important, most significant invention of all time. Yeah.
rồi ghi là personally I agree with that à?
This essay will explain both school of thought.
Old school à?
Both schools trường học of thought.
Vậy là bố
Thought có S.
học ít còn cái school á.
Schools đúng rồi. Thought là có S. Schools. Yes. Of thought.
Rồi
Why explain?
vậy why à?
And explain why I side with the ladder.
And why bố
Why I side.
I sai sao?
Đúng người kia. Side. SID. SIDE.
Why I say
with the ladder.
the ladder cái đằng sau à?
L A W T R.
Double T à?
Ladder là cái thứ hai đó.
Thời gian nó 4.
Xuống đầu. On the one hand.
Không thấy gì hết trơn.
On the one hand. Đang nói về electricity đúng không?
Yeah.
Some people believe that. Some people believe that. There are many other inventions. There are other important inventions, such as electricity and car. Yeah.
Sao rồi they are significant important.
Inventions.
Significant hả?
There are more. There has
Invention.
been or have been. There have been more important.
They have been more
Important invention.
invention.
Such as electricity and car.
Electric, city and car.
Yeah.
Chấm.
First of all,
First. Cái gì trời?
first of all,
First of all.
electricity
Electricity
has allowed.
nó sợ lao vì sao bốn?
Has HAS
Không cái ở lao á.
allow AWLOWD.
Ở lao à. Hát ở lao.
Allow people
Allow people
to have conveniences.
còn conveniences.
Such as
Conveniences đi sai rồi.
CON
Yeah. Yeah.
VENIENCES.
Nó gạch chung với đội đây vậy.
VI mà VI.
Thấy gạch này.
Conveniences. Such as air condition and lighting.
Air conditioner.
Air condition. Air condition.
Air conditioner là mới lạnh rồi bố. Chứ air conditioner là gì bố?
Nhà máy lạnh. Condition.
And lighting hả?
Lighting.
And lighting. Chấm.
This help them.
This help them
To enjoy life.
Enjoy life.
And be able to do their work better.
Better. Okay. Chấm.
For instance,
For instance.
in some cities, For instance, there are some sleepless cities in the world
Is thành phố ngủ á.
due to the availability of electricity.
Vì available á.
Due to the availability, thì sau đấy là dùng cái từ
Availability of electricity. Chấm.
Moreover,
Chấm chấm
moreover, okay.
over lại
The invention of car
the invention
car
of car
also help
also help
people to move around much faster.
we
This allowed them travel from one city to the other with ease.
to travel
One city to another with ease.
we is okay. Ở đây hay nè.
Xuống dòng. On the other hand, không thể tương tự đấy. Có nghĩa là còn là phải. Cái đầu tiên là viết hoa chứ. On the other hand, the opponents, the proponents,
Tiếng Sài
plural, error,
đứng người ủng hộ ý kiến hả?
proponents argue that
Argue that
internet
the internet
the most important
is the most important invention
in humanity.
chấm
The first reason is that
the first reason that first reason connect people.
cái cấu trúc đấy tôi biết, cấu trúc biết rồi,
The first reason
hai cuốn tự biết. Connect people. Cái first reason nhất và ví dụ, second reason nhất là kiểu từ 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 dịch của
can stay in touch hả? Stay
là nối câu á, cái như là màu đen, lấy từ màu đen viết tiếp, đen là màu giải thích.
in touch, in touch ghi đúng
Viết liên tục đi, lấy cái từ cuối trên câu, hoặc stay can stay in touch or how people connect better. Đầu tư đấy, từ khả năng con trên đường 6 tiếng 5.
Tuyển. Ok.
Đó là đầu tư đó, cái đấy đầu tư đó. Và một sự chỉ về second reason is that. Đó là cái second reason chưa? Là second reason chưa?
Chưa.
Chưa biết rồi.
Mà không di chuyển là không moving debit hả?
Hả?
Mà không cần phải di chuyển á.
You need to move.
By not moving around à?
You don't have to move long distance to meet someone. Đơn giản. Đơn giản là một.
And you don't have to move around à?
Move a long distance. Đi từ sao ấy. To meet someone.
Internet.
Next, allow them flexibility in terms of time and space. Được không? Bao nhiêu từ rồi?
215.
Nữa đi.
Ít xây tam à?
Em second reason chưa?
Rồi.
Second reason gì ta? Allow gì?
Ít
Làm một gì đó. Thì thứ hai là gì?
xây tam.
Save time là gì?
Xây tam.
Save time. Can internet allows you to save time. This is a travel. Furthermore, they can work at home.
Reason is that the internet.
Vậy thì ý biết trước này có thể là people to stay at home này. When they stay at home, là thì biết. When they stay at home, they can do multiple jobs at the same time. For instance, people that are freelancer, đúng không? Người mà freelancer đó, they can do 3 jobs at a time without having trouble. IT freelancer cho dễ hiểu. IT làm cho 2-3 công ty cùng lúc, 3 companies without the need to go to office. Hoặc là nó trong trường hợp năm 2020 đó, thì COVID, many IT professionals without having to go to office due to the internet.
Viết conclusion.
Rồi giờ nhưng mà conclusion thì biết là although some people believe that other nations such as electricity and cars are more important by development of the internet. Still the most invention of all time. One invention of all time.
Thì cái lúc mình internet hả?
Although chưa?
Although
Some people believe that. Tức lại tôi như là Trần. Cái này không được tắt gọi là kết.
Bây giờ bị sao bây giờ bị
So
đi.
before we delete that, other inventions such as electricity and car are more important. Tất trên là ví dụ thôi.
Important.
Phải
Tại
development, invention of the internet. So far,
the invention of internet.
so is so far the
Invention of internet
most valuable valuable
is more valuable. Valuable.
because it allows people to connect the data and it can save time. Which is phù đầu phải hiểu
Thì
một cái bài cấu trúc nhớ
là
kỹ để là save time không? Hiểu chưa?
yeah.
Đã biết còn cái dư design có thể ngồi đọc lại chút được. Ủa sao Iraq đúng rồi. Sao
Ví dụ các 2 năm còn lại.
given graph illustrate the estimated oil manufacturing capacity for different Gulf nations. Đúng rồi, Gulf country để nation đúng không?
Yeah.
Đủ từ chưa đã? Chưa đủ từ này. Biết đi.
Rồi nghĩ cái
A contrast similar.
cái gì được xem level.
Biết đại đã. Bây giờ là in xuống dòng đi. Trên đây.
Production 1999 2005. Nó biết rồi.
Enter. Giờ biết đại thôi, có cái chữ này. Enter xuống dòng đây.
Học đây đoạn cuối mà.
Nhưng cũng đoạn cuối chứ con phải đủ từ đã. Xong viết tiếp ở đây này.
Tiếp.
Viết ở đây đi, chấm ở đây đi. Rồi.
1990 2000.
In 2010. Đó, viết đi. Có đủ từ đã. 2010 là Saudi Arabia. Lại viết lại được. Achieved. Saudi Arabia achieved 14 million đúng không? More than 14 million barrels per day.
Chứ gì không?
14 million
14 million
barrels a day. Million đó, trang cái định là million là không có s, million là từ đặc biệt, từ nhiều của nó không có s.
Tất cả mình sẽ ghi đây là có ít.
Có s đâu?
Nè có s nè.
Cái thì giống đó. Ưu tiên là biết giống đó.
Per day.
Ở đây. Đó. Từ từ đó. Đó, bây giờ mình có thời gian mình xem. Đó, overall testing. What stands out on the graph is the oil production in the stood at the highest amount in several countries except quite a chuẩn. Another noteworthy point chuẩn. Cái cấu trúc là cứ nhớ thôi không? Thì các bài này con chưa làm dần bài này, nên con biết nó bị vướng. Bài 2 con làm dần bài thì viết trôi không? Đó là cho 78 luôn. You can specific chuẩn accounted for the highest amount of oil which was at cái động từ while quarter occupied in its barrel subsequently similar. Đó. Cái đủ từ đã con sẽ là cái đầu tiên mà cứ nhảy sang cái thay là gì không?
Vậy đến cái điểm
Sao rồi đó?
quay lại bác à?
Rồi bây giờ ta để đâu?
Pianist là cái gì bố?
Dạ con.
Cái người pianist á, không biết nghe cái nào nữa, nhưng mà listening á, nói cái pianist, nghe pianist